Welcome to 2-4, multiplying integers. Today's two objectives are 1. Multiplying integers. The second, simplify algebraic expressions. No key terms, but yes, two key concepts. 1 deals with multiplying two integers with different signs. The other is multiplying two integers with the same sign. When dealing with two different signs, we will always get a negative answer. When multiplying with the same sign, we'll always get a positive answer. Some students have been taught with a chart like this. First part of the chart is we have a negative times a positive is equal to a negative, or we can have a positive times a negative is equal to a negative. The second part of the chart sees two positives multiplied together will always be positive or equal to a positive. Two negatives multiplied together will equal a positive. Not to be confused with adding and subtracting. Our first problem finds the directions stating find each product. In problem A, we have 5 times negative 6. With 5 times 6, we know the answer is 30. And we know that the signs are opposite. We have a positive sign and a negative sign. So our answer will be a negative. And that is the answer. Our second slide still is dealing with find each product. We have the problem B, negative 4 times 16. We are just going to deal with 16 times 4. 4 times 6 is 24. Carry to 2. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. We have a 64. Then we look at our original problem. We have a negative and a positive. That means our answer will be a negative. Let's continue on. We have a negative 6 times a negative 12. We are just going to focus in on 12 times 6. 2 times 6 is 12. Carry to 1. 1 times 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. We see that our result is 72. Then we look at our original problem. We see that both signs are alike. Like signs are always positive. So the answer is positive 72. Our next slide, we have a bit of a different problem. We have three numbers being multiplied together, which is a negative 4 times a negative 5 times a negative 8. I just want to mention that when you have more than two numbers being multiplied together and they're integers, the odd number of negative signs will result in a negative answer. So in this problem, we have three negative numbers. So I know my answer will be a negative. So now all I have to do is concentrate on multiplying my three numbers. We only do two numbers at a time. 4 times 5 is 20. And then we take our third number, multiply it by 20. 8 times 0 is 0. 2 times 8 is 16. The result is 160. And once again, we have an odd number of negatives, integers, so our answer will be negative. Our next slide has a word problem. A glacier was receding at the rate of 300 feet per day. What is the glacier's movement in 5 days? Let's translate the word receding. Receding means to go back, which is negative. So we're going to translate that. A rate of 300 feet per day receding means a negative 300. Well, each day it recedes 300 feet. They tell us that they have 5 days, so we're going to multiply negative 300 by 5 to get our answer. Right, we're just going to see what 5 times 300 is. 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 0 is 0, 3 times 5 is 15. The result is 1500. And we notice that we have two integers, one positive, one negative, so our answer will result in a negative. And it is a word problem, so negative 1,500 feet. Our next slide starts with the objective simplifying algebraic expressions. Problem A, simplify negative 4 times 9x. This is an algebraic expression. In order to solve this, we're going to group the negative 4 and the 9 and multiply them together. 9 times 4 is 36. The result 36 should be a negative because our two integers are unlike, one negative, one being positive. Then we include the x because we are also going to multiply 36 by x. Again, let's simplify an algebraic expression. Problem B says simplify negative 2x times 3y. So what we're going to do is we're going to group our integers, a negative 2 and a 3, and multiply them together. 2 times 3 is 6. The result will be negative because we have unlike signs, a negative 2 and a positive 3, so negative 6. We're also multiplying x times y because they are both variables, so x times y will equal xy. We'll take that result and multiply it by 6, and our answer is negative 6xy. In problem C, we have evaluate 4 times a times b. If a is equal to 3 and b is equal to negative 5. Evaluate means to plug and chug, as we would say. So we're going to substitute a with 3 and b with negative 5. As you can see, there are parentheses put around 3 and negative 5 to remind us that we'll be multiplying. Now we're just going to go ahead and multiply out these three numbers and see what we get. 4 times 3 is 12. Since the 12 is positive, because both 4 and 3 are positive, now we're going to take negative 5 and multiply that by 12, and we get negative 60. So our answer is a negative 60.